So our first grade curriculum picks came kind of with a lot of trial and error. This is my year and a half to a year mark of homeschooling. We started out with The Good and the Beautiful, and I liked it for preschool, but I don't love it as far as kindergarten and first grade. So for my first grader, we start off, kind of cover this up a little bit. We start off doing like a whole page of about me. And so he says his first, middle, last name, his birthday, my name and his dad's name, both of our phone numbers, and then his home address. And my hope is to, have him read it enough to where he memorizes it. And he's got a lot of it down, most of it down. He just kind of looks at it and zip, 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 flies down. So he's already pretty much there. And this is kind of my little cheat sheet. I do also have a planner, but this is kind of what I go off, and I use a dry erase marker to see where we're at for the day and what we've done, because we do kind of like to split it up. We do our morning stuff together, and then each kid has their thing, and then we do like an afternoon thing together. And all in all, it kind of looks like a lot, but it really only takes us probably about an hour, maybe less, a day, split up through everything. So I'll kind of go over our daily stuff that we do, but then each week we have extra stuff. Like Monday, we do social studies and Curiosity Chronicles history. Tuesday, we do a coding book and an art project. Wednesday, we take the day off. Thursdays, we do geography and our state info. So each week we pick a new state. Right now we're on Maine. Friday, we do anatomy and our Dr. Bonafide book, which is our bones. Saturday, we do our 2 emotional health books and an art project. And then Sunday, we do our science book and our elemental science program. And we don't get to that stuff every day, so I kind of loop these things. Like, this is kind of just our outline schedule, but we end up looping a lot of that. And I do have us down for 6 days a week of school, but we take days off as needed. So if we're doing a play group or doing a big park or beach day, we just take the day off and then pick up where we left off the next day. So we probably end up doing school about 4 or 5 days a week usually. So we start our morning with our poetry and art. So I use the Tiger Tiger Burning Bright book, and I really, really love this. It's an animal poem for each day of the year. And so today we did raccoon, and it has the whole, June 12th here, or that's kind of an overview of the month. August 6th is stork, August 4th is the eagle, and it kind of goes by seasons too. So like the end of the year, it'll be more, winter type animals. So I think this is in December. But they really like it. They really love trying to guess the animal. And they take their coloring sheet out, and as I'm reading the poem, they listen, and then they color a page on what they think it is. And so I put their name and date on the back, and I do a 3-hole punch and put it in a 3-ring binder, just so we can kind of look back and see how their drawing and art and interpretation has gone. And they just like having their animal art in their book as well. So we usually start out with that. And then we do our scissor skills, just because my sons are 4 and 7. My oldest is an OT, so we like to do a little extra work with our scissor practice. And they really like this book. There's cutting and pasting. Anytime they can paste, they love that. Let's see, cutting and coloring. They've done a lot of this book already, so, and then it gets a little bit more intricate with the cutting, so they're cutting and then again pasting up here. They like doing that. It's kind of an easy way to start the morning. We are going to be starting this. We do our days of the week, months of the year, and our seasons information. We do a lot of that with just like videos on YouTube or looking at a calendar. We have a sheet printed out in our homeschool room with the days of the week and the months of the year. But I saw this on somebody else's video, and I want to start this as well. So this is our monthly planner, and it's undated. So we're going to start with our next month and put the numbers in as we go, and the weather, probably draw a picture of what the weather is going to be like for the day. So we'll be starting that. And then we also do our handwriting in the morning, and we do Logic of English, and they have a handwriting component, but I don't really like it. I don't like how they form their letters. Like, for example, letter A, they teach it as, you start with a roll, and then you add like a slanty line. And so it ends up, my kids are like confused because it's not like the circle and the down line. It's just kind of ends up looking weird. And then they're like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So we do handwriting without tiers. We have done, I think there's a purple and a green book before this orange one. This is the kindergarten one. But we like it. It's easy, it's simple. It teaches up here step by step, and then they just do a couple of them, and then the next letter down here. And I have flip throughs of pretty much all of these books, and the ones I don't have, I will be doing. So if you want more in depth about any of these, those are also on there. And then for handwriting, we also supplement with Channy's handwriting books. And I think they have a website, but we just got these on Amazon too. So we kind of switch back and forth between doing numbers or our letters. And so this is kind of like, it will introduce the letter and have it all dotted. And then the next time they're doing it all by themselves. And I like having the green box, so I can say like, do the circle and the whole green box and then the little line. So we don't mind it. They don't love how many there are to do, like, so our dotted lines for our ones, and then the next day we're doing all these ones, and they're like, okay, that's a lot of ones. So I don't usually make them finish. I'll be like, you know, just do 2 lines, and then, you know, that's plenty for us. So that is what we're doing for handwriting. We are starting to introduce a language. We want to do Italian. Right now I have TalkBox Mom, which is a language program, so I have that in Italian. I also have Homeschool languages in Italian. We haven't quite started those yet just because we are really young. We got a lot going on. We're getting used to everything. So right now we just do our colors in Italian. So I will give them each this sheet and a dry erase marker, and then I'll say the color name and they have to quick find it. Kind of make it a game, and they like it. They're really getting the colors down. At this point, we've been doing this for a couple weeks, and they just zip right to the color. So they have these down. So next we'll probably start introducing smaller words, maybe animal names, and do the same kind of thing with animals. And then as we get a little bit older, going into more of the programs with, you know, speaking skills with it. All right. So we also do the code. My youngest is on the first book, and my oldest is on book 1.5. We don't get to this every single day, just because sometimes it takes a little bit longer, and we really prioritize our math and our Logic of English, and then, you know, what we get to. So we like to do Explode the Code. I'll probably do flip throughs of these as well at some point, but we look at what the picture is and then we spell it out. What else do we do? We read the first word and then circle the matching word. We read part of the sentence and fill in the blank with the missing words. So it does take a little while sometimes to do this. The book kind of follows a format where it's like, there'll be like 4 different types of worksheets, and then it repeats the next time. So like, again, looking at the word and spelling it, finding the correct word and then repeating it down here. So we like the code. We really like it. Right. Next, I think I will do we just started this not too long ago, the spelling you see, just because I wanted a little bit more practice with spelling and handwriting. they don't love handwriting, and I think we just need a little bit more practice with that. So with spelling UC, you definitely need the instructor's handbook because, let's see, let me grab the book. That's my other one. And it does also come with these stickers. You can put a sticker on every page when you complete it. They love doing that. It starts out pretty simple with the words here, map, and then they just kind of complete it down here. But as you get a little bit later on, the pages are completely blank and all of the spelling words are in this book. So you do need the instructor manual for this. So far, we really like this, and they're really good at it. With Logic of English, they're really good at doing 3-letter words so far and 4-letter words. But this is just a little bit extra practice for us. We supplement math right now with Addition Facts That Stick by Kate Snow. We really love it. We are about 2 weeks in right now, and I have flip throughs of this as well. She teaches with a 10 frame, which is really helpful. She talks about how kids learn in chunks, and it makes it really easy for mistakes. So she teaches the 10 frame where they can recognize that this is 5 and then like 6, 7. And so it just makes it a little bit easier for them. Week 1, so the first day you do teaching, and then days 2 through 5, you do a practice sheet and then a game. And so we have been completing our practice sheets, and I mean, once they learn how to use the 10 frame, the practice sheets go by really quickly, and then the game is fun. So this doesn't take too much of our time, and they really enjoy doing it. So for week 1, the game was flip a quarter, and like heads are 1 and tails is 2. So you'd be adding, so say we had 1 and you flip and get 2, they'd have to say 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then the first one to get all 10 wins. And so he really liked that. Week 2 right now, it's go fish with pairs of 10. And so he'll have a 6 and be like, okay, Mom, do you have a 4? And then he makes his pair of 10. And so I really like how they lay it out and make it a lot more fun. All right. So our main math program is Singapore Dimensions, and we really love it. We've done a couple different programs, just kind of trial and error. We've done the Good and Beautiful math, didn't love that. We tried Math with Confidence. I don't think I gave it a fair enough chance just because there are a lot of extra components you need to do than the workbook. The main learning is activities with the instructor guide. And we've also tried Math UC. I do like that. Sometimes we supplement with that a little bit, but this is our main math program, and we do really, really like it. It is kind of a happy medium of open and go. So you do end up using like counting bears or playing cards, but it's not like you have to gather all these extra materials or do a whole bunch. And maybe that'll change with the later years. But like, for example, lesson 5 here, I mean, this is what we teach, and then we do our book, and here's like the answer key. So it ends up being not very long of lessons, which we like that. So we'll do our page in the textbook, and the textbooks are really pretty and colorful, and we like anything that has pictures and colors in it. So you usually do like about a page or 2 in the workbook, and then after that, or the next, some people do every other day, there is the workbook. So the textbook is what you teach off of, and then the workbook is just extra help and extra lessons. And if it's something easy that we already have down, we kind of skip this extra workbook part. But if it's something I think we need a little bit more help with, like these number bonds, 3 is apart, 2 is apart, and it makes a whole 5. We needed a little extra help, so we did do this. And then optional is the test book, and I got it just because, I don't know, I figured why not get the whole program. But it has, at the end of every like unit, it has test. So chapter 1 test, chapter 2 test is a couple pages long. We do use it. We skip over some parts sometimes if I know he already has it down. It's just a couple pages of testing. So that's our math that we like to do. And then I believe last is our language arts. And we use Logic of English Foundations A right now. We are almost done. We have, gosh, maybe 2 or 3 lessons left, and we love it. It teaches phonograms in a really nice way. What did we do today? So, like, for example, they'll have their workbook with pictures in it, and I'll say, like, eagle, and then they'll say eagle and circle the eagle, and then panda, and they circle the panda. So it teaches them the phonograms of each letter and how to put it together, and it has drastically helped with their reading and their spelling. It's gotten so good. We're on 4-letter words. We're spelling today. We spelled van, vest, kid, win, and rest. So this is kind of laid out. I have a flip through of this as well for more in depth, but you'll have your lesson kind of overview, and then it'll tell you the page in the workbook for the kids and what you're going to be reading, and then kind of an answer key for them. And then you introduce your letter. Today we did V. We read our V page in our Doodling Dragon book. Handwriting we skip. We don't love that, but it has cursive or regular options. What was this? We're matching different fonts of letters so they can recognize G looks different in different fonts and so on. We did our spelling here, and then we did a fun game of charades. It had a page to cut out, and they cut out all these words, put them face down, picked them up, read it, charades. And then that was it for today. And then next we have an assessment to do. But that is the instructor manual. Definitely need that. Here is our Doodling Dragons book that has the sound of each letter and then some fun rhymes down here. And a lot of letters had more sounds than I would have expected. For example, I has 4 different sounds. So we teach it like, we say all the sounds, then we make it like a march. And so they repeat all the sounds. And it has examples of all the different 4 sounds on this page. So this book's fun. We don't read it a ton, but I think it helps kind of cement things. It also comes with all of our letter cards. So a lot of times they have you throw the cards around, and then I'll say, O, ah, ooh. And then they run to the letter O and bring it back to me, or A, ah, and they'll grab the letter A and run it back to me. And then here is our workbook. We have like bingo in here, fun game. The beginning sound of each word. This is the early stuff. What else are we doing? All the sounds that begin with this letter. We skip our handwriting because we do that in other programs. Here's the different fonts we match. We're reading these words and matching them up on this page. We haven't gotten quite here yet. This is the end of the book here. And then these we cut out and we'll play a game with. And then in the back for the A, they have the readers that the kids, you rip the pages out and then they cut and glue the pages on there. And they love making the readers. And they did just come out with readers you can buy for Foundations A, so we bought those as well and we're using those, but they do really enjoy making these readers too. So yeah, I believe that is all that we're doing right now for first grade. We don't get to everything every single day, but we try. Looks like a lot, sounds like a lot, I think, but it really doesn't take us that much time, and then we get to play outside and go to parks and play with friends and visit grandma and grandpa and everything. So we really enjoy homeschool. Yeah, that's what we do in a day.